the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine, from a place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome, but nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Yes, get in. Yes, we got the 3 points, guys. Come on. Right. So before I get into the instant reaction, if you like what you see, then please smash a like. It really does help the channel with search results. So smash those likes, please. Thank you very much. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe. Free to do so. Helps the channel grow. And also that bell notification will tell you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. So thank you very much indeed. I'm going to go straight into some comments first, and then we'll get into the game. Jody says, evening all. Yes, what a result tonight. Gimme a striker from Sweden. First name Alexander, last name Isak. Absolutely brilliant, mate. Luke, hello to you. He says, brilliant win. Every big claim going against us, and we still found a way to win. Love it. Absolutely, mate. Definitely. Cole, yeah. Ian says, hi, Tony. Deserved result. Should have been more convincing. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm going to get into that in a minute. Sefton, hi to you. He says, getting ridiculous now with poor officials, but FA corrupt officials, and my predicted scoreline 2-1 onwards and upwards. How are the lads? Yeah, you did predict 2-1, Sefton. You got it right. Ashton, terrible ref in that game. Yeah, definitely. He says, we're Nottingham playing pretty dirty. Ref was terrible. Same ref always against us. Commentators were shit and against us too. Yeah, they were. Thing is, though, Shelby should have been booked. What a result, Tony. 3 behind Man United. Yeah, absolutely, Niall. And 1 behind Spurs. Sad for Anderson's goal taken. Yeah, again, we're going to come into that one. Jake says, Isak, sexy man. We didn't get the 6 goals you wanted, though. Matt says, hi, Tony and chatters. Hi, Matt. Hope you're well, mate. And hope it was worth getting off early for in Australia. Ashton says, was concerned when I thought Trippier was going to take the pen. Hey, I wouldn't have been concerned that Trippier take the pen. He's pretty good at penalties. Look what he done in the shootout for England against Colombia in the World Cup under severe pressure. Hi, Tony says, Trolls. Hi, Trolls. Hope you're well. Trippier, very smart, definitely. Ashton says, and that lad hanging on to Anderson in the box, if it were us, would have been called for an instant pen. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Felipe had his shirt, shouldn't he? That should have been gone to VAR. Hi all. Sefton says, VAR and FA go together. Yeah, they do. BS says, feels like VAR is there to maintain the big sixes monopoly. Isak. Yeah, absolutely. Well, they couldn't take away the penalty, could they? Couldn't deny that. Shelby was going for Bruno often. Yes, he was, Ashton. Yeah. Very, very dirty was Shelby tonight. Matt says Australia loves the tune. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Gary says, well done, Newcastle, Tony, mate. Yeah, absolutely, Gary D. Absolutely, mate. Nice to see you. Because you haven't been on for a while, but I know you watch them on catch-up. Troll says, yeah, Trips took the shit from Navas. What a great move. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what it is. It's great, isn't it? Ashton says, VAR's not the problem. It's the officials behind it. Isak was brilliant goals. Yeah, absolutely. The VAR is a big question as well. Trips, great mind games, and nicely slotted pen by Isak, says Jody. Absolutely. And Andy Ashington says, after the game, in certain Cooper's tactics or try and break ankles or something, yeah, they were just dirty all around. And even when that ex-Scouser came on, he was dirty as well, when he Nico Williams. So, yeah, well-deserved win, says Ashington, absolutely. And yeah, so the game, so obviously there was a lot going on before the game. When we found out Miggy had a bit of an injury, we knew there was people saying that Wilson was out with another illness again, and then some people were saying there was something happening in his personal life. Um, but the team sheet came out, and on that team sheet, which is there now, um, Wilson was named amongst the substitutes, and he was seen in the stadium. So I mean, that was the team the team that went out. Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno, Sean Longstaff, Joe Willock, Jacob Murphy, Alan St. Maximum, and Alexander Isak. So it was an unchanged lineup, which again was absolutely brilliant. And we went into that game, and to be fair, we started off pretty well. We should have been one or maybe two up. We had the chances, we kept going at them, but it just seemed to go again from us that we just could not get that vital first goal. And obviously, against the run of play, obviously Forest scored. Botman, on 26 minutes, tried to pass it back to Pope. Poor pass from Botman. He should have seen Dennis coming in. Dennis done what strikers do, they keep going, and he got the ball, took it round Pope in over the top. And the Dennis goal reminded me of when Callum Wilson scored against Burnley last season, if you remember, when we got our first win. So, hang on, I've just got a guest here. I'll just bring him in. There's Pete. Hi,
All
Peter.
right, Tony.
Yeah, not too bad. I'll just get me brilliant in it. And but yeah, so just so then we got back into the game a bit, and then just literally on half time, up pops Isak, and with that, you could call it a shin volley, but hey, what a goal! What a great goal it was. I mean, not only the technique, because when you think about it, when Willock crossed that ball in, it was literally just behind him, so he had to get his foot round, and I tell you what a technique! And then the finish off the post and at the back of the net, that silenced their crowd, and we went in 1-1, all happy. Second half, we came out. ESM was taken off for Elliot Anderson, which but to be fair, ESM didn't do nothing in that first half, in all fairness. A lot of it was going down the right. And to be fair, I thought Elliot Anderson had a cracking second half for us. He scored. Now, that goal should have stood. And again, it's the inconsistencies of VAR. And I said this in my show earlier this week. If you haven't seen that show, catch up with it. But the thing with VAR is it's far too inconsistent. And, this guy tonight, Paul Tierney, poor referee. Absolutely dog shit, this referee tonight. I'm not going to hold back on him. I think he was disgusting. I didn't like anything he did at all. The only thing he got right was the penalty call. That's the only thing he got right all night. I thought there should have been a few more players in the book for Forest. But yeah. But then he was sent to the VAR by this guy, Peter Banks. Now, what I want to know is, how is that an offside when, yes, Sean Longstaff is standing in an offside position, but the Forest player hits the ball and it comes off Sean Longstaff. He can't get out the way of that ball anyway. And yes, it deflects off him and goes to Isak, who's on the ground, who gets it across, and who gets the cross in, and Elliot Anderson heads home. But Should that have been offside? I mean, Pete, should that have been an offside goal?
Absolutely not. If they've kicked the ball to Longstaff, what can he do?
Yeah, exactly.
He
There's
can't
nothing
get
you
out of
can
the
do
way.
about it.
They've kicked it to him. So it's ridiculous. I'm getting absolutely fed up with this VAR completely now.
I mean, it's like it's just getting to be a regular occurrence, isn't it? The VAR, and
Yep.
we're just we're just getting sick of it. But I mean, it's I mean, Ashton said there, like this was his comment earlier on. He said VAR is not the problem; it's the officials
Exactly.
behind it, and he's absolutely right.
Because it works
He's
in other
bang on.
countries, but they can't organise a piss up in a sun brewery to get it right here.
I mean, why is our VAR so bad? And the thing is, though, I think Peter Banks sent him to the monitor to take the heat off himself because he didn't want to disallow it in case he got the backlash where at least if the referee done it, he gets the backlash because he's in the stadium. But we controlled that second half. We were the much better side. We had chances to score. We couldn't. Bruno tried. I mean, Navas pulled off a couple of world-class saves because, let's be real, this guy is a world-class goalkeeper. He's a very decorated, trophy-laden goalkeeper. He's won Champions Leagues. He's won Ligue 1. He's won La Liga. He's won Copa del Rey. This guy's won a hell of a lot in football. So, you're not a top-class keeper for no reason. But towards the end, we got the penalty. I mean, Nayakati, I don't know what he was thinking, but you saw him put his head in his hands because he realised he just handed us a penalty on the plate. And then obviously Navas got into Trippier because I thought he was taking the penalty. I know someone in the chat earlier there said, I was a bit nervous, Trippier going to take it. And I said, well, why? I says, because Trippier is pretty good with penalties. He's done it in the World Cup for England against Colombia in that shootout. So,
yep.
Under severe pressure when you think after Jordan Henderson had missed, he'd had to step up and get the equaliser. But it was Isak all along taking the penalty. It was just a good bit of shithousery and a good bit of, mind games. And then when Isak scored, he just sort of went to Navas, now shut up. And that did shut Navas up. Thoroughly deserved win. I did say it would be a tough game. I never said this game would be easy. I did only go for a 1-0 win. But overall, we've got the 3 points. That's the main thing. I don't care how we get 3 points. I've always said I don't care if we get a last-minute goal and it comes off somebody's arse end and goes in the back of the net. I don't care. As long as we get the 3 points. That's all I care about. If we win ugly, who cares? I don't care. As long as we get the 3 points. I mean, Pete, your thoughts on the game?
Totally agree. I mean, I thought we dominated that game pretty much. I think we've deserved that from start to finish. Okay, we give away the silly goal. I don't know what Botman's thinking of there, but he luckily recovered well after that, which was good. And great finish from Isak. Brilliant finish. That's why he should have been starting but games before that as well. And this guy's just going to get more goals now for us. He's going to get better and better now. He really, really is. That is a proper striker playing for this football club at the moment. That is what you call a proper striker playing for this club, definitely, as well. And again, joke about not giving Anderson the goal, but you got the penalty, the right decision. I think if I was a Forest fan, I'd be raging with that, definitely, because you kind of put your hands up like that. You're going to give the referee no choice but to give that. And Isak just says to Navas, see you later. Goodbye. 3 points is ours. There you are. Some players did very well. I thought Murphy was great again, going forward with the ball. Willock, I thought really well again, particularly provided for the assist. Should have scored before in the first half, though. Should have put that in for me, definitely. Bruno, quite quiet for me. I thought ASM was poor, but Anderson, very well when he come on. I thought Dan Burn did very well yesterday. You could tell he was paid off with some of the decisions not going him, and he was booked for it. But who could you say was really poor apart from ASM? No one really. ASM just was the one that really disappointed me tonight.
Yeah, I was disappointed with the SM tonight. In all honesty, I was hoping for a lot more out of him, but we didn't see that. But Elliot Anderson came on, got his chance, and do you know what? I think he's took his chance really well, and he took the game to Forest. He couldn't do any more than he tried, but he done a lot more than what ESM did in that first 45 minutes. But yeah, Forest are just. I mean, they are a good side at home. Let's be honest.
But we
They've held
really,
Man City. They've beat Liverpool. They've held Chelsea. So
we really
we've
tired.
been
I thought
fortunate.
we really tired them out tonight. I thought.
Yeah. And even Jamie Carragher said during that second half, he said at one point, he said, look how, he says, this is a type of football I like. He says, you've just seen how quickly Castle's got from back to front. He says, up to the front area already. He says, within seconds. He says, I would love to be playing in a team like that. And that's coming from Carragher. And that just shows you how much people are taking notice of us. As much as they want to be corrupt and stop us getting goals, there's no way they could have turned that penalty down, because even if the ref hadn't give that, VAR would have said, you need to go and check that because that's a penalty. Because he had his arm up there and the ball hit him there, so that's a penalty. End of. And as soon as he hit his arm, he was like that, hands in his head, and he's like, yeah, okay. Head in his hand, and that was it. But I'll just get into some comments. Yeah. So Ashton says after the game, certain Cooper's tactics are to try and break ankles or something.
I don't know how they got away with some decisions. Shelby should have been yellow carded, and I don't know how IU was booked at least for a challenge on that on Share.
Yeah, absolutely. Jody says trips, great mind games, and nicely slotted pen by Isak. Absolutely. Ashton says it was a well-deserved win. Yeah, definitely. And he also said didn't like Yates much either. No, I thought he was very dirty.
He was.
Jody says Forest have to play dirty, only way they can try and get the points on the board instead of playing football the proper way. Absolutely. Gary D, I'm watching on Facebook for a change, Tony. No problem, mate. No worries. Alan says, I thought this was Anderson's best game. Not long enough on the pitch before tonight, but a great 3 points. Absolutely.
I think left wing is better for him than centre midfield.
Yeah, definitely. Ashton says, I've lost respect for Nottingham Forest after that. Me too, says Sefton. That is massive luck for Nottingham, us hitting the bar twice. Yeah, I mean, we hit the bar twice, didn't we? I mean, unlucky. So unlucky. I mean, the first one was a deflection as well, wasn't it, from Longstaff?
Yep.
Mason, good evening to you. He says, House just said that Almiron is out for 6 weeks with a thigh injury. That's it. That's not great, is it?
Hopefully not that long.
No.
Unless it's Gordon. Was Gordon not out for 6 weeks? Or unless it's Miggy. Because they said Gordon could be out for some time.
Yeah, he could be. Geordie says Jayton Murphy's been decent in both the Wolves and Forest match. You can see him staying at the club for a number of years now as a rotation player, as he's shown his worth.
I don't think you can take him out at the moment.
No,
even if Miggy comes back for Man United, you can't take Murphy out. I think Murphy's done very well.
Marshall, good evening to you. He said, I like your profile pic, by the way. I think that's brilliant. Boris Johnson with a big nose. Absolutely class, mate. That's absolutely class. Boris Pinocchio. Yeah. He says, has Howe been too loyal to Wilson or too protective to Isak? If Isak has started more games recently, we would have got more points.
Absolutely.
Do you know what? That's a very, very good point, Marshall. And the thing is, I've said for a while, I think Howe's been too loyal to a few players, and I just keep looking back at that final and thinking, if Isak had started that final, that might have been a different game. We could have been sitting with that trophy. I mean, it's all ifs and buts. But I think Wilson now will have a spell out of the team because he's got to get past Isak, and Isak's got 3-2 now. And the thing is, Wilson in 3 months has only scored 1 goal and 1 assist and got 1 assist. So, it just shows you the class of Isak. But you are right. Maybe he's just protected Isak a little bit just to make sure he doesn't get injured. But he's played 97 minutes tonight there, Isak. So if he can play 97 minutes tonight, he's only going to get better. And it's just looking great, isn't it? Do you think, Pete?
Absolutely, he is going to get better now.
I mean, what's your response to that question from Marshall? I mean, it's very good points what he's put.
It
there.
is very. You could say it's a bit of both, couldn't you? Because he has been loyal to Wilson, keep playing him, and he's been in a way protected of Isak by having him on the bench a lot. But now Eddie's realised, well, Wilson, you're not playing well. It's your turn, opportunity, Isak, and Isak's taking his opportunity now, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Hi, Rolly. How are you, mate?
Unfortunately, I didn't get to see the game because, apart from the last 10 minutes, because I was at a function at a conference in London. So we had a meal, but kept track of the game and got in front of the telly in the bar in time to see the penalty. Definite pen. How well that was dispatched by Isak. Seen the goals. Not sure what was wrong with Anderson's one. I know Longstaff was when Isak played the ball across. Longstaff was offside, but it got played by a Forest player, then another Forest player. So he's not offside if the defender plays the ball. It was a lovely finish by Anderson.
It was. I mean, that's what I've said, Rolly. I can't understand. And this is the thing. This is what I was on about the other night when I'd done a show on the VAR, because this is why VAR is too inconsistent. I mean, the defender hits it off Longstaff. Longstaff can't get out the way of it anyway. Yes, at the start he's on an offside position, but when the defender's played the ball and it's hit off Longstaff and ricocheted to Isak, who's on the floor, then gets up and puts the cross in. Did well to get up off the floor to put the cross in before Elliot Anderson dispatched it. To me, that is not offside in my eyes. But
it's not just that. It's just that when the ball initially went in, it was played out by a Forest defender to the guy that played it off Longstaff. So if the defender plays the ball, he's not offside.
No, definitely not. And this is where we need to hear. This is why they should come out and explain things more on VAR. And I said the other night on the on my show, on the VAR show, and I'm going to ask Pete for his opinion on what I said. Would he agree with this? But I've said, you see the managers after the game, post-match interviews. Players do post-match interviews. Why can't the refs do a post-match interview straight after the game? Why? Why can't we have it? What's the reason? And then the referee can stand there and say, right, okay, the reason that was disallowed was because A, this happened, and B, that happened, and A couldn't do what B was doing. So, okay, fair enough. You've explained the situation, but, that's a problem. They don't allow them to explain, do they, Pete?
They certainly don't, do
they? Would you agree with that?
I get where you're coming from, but the problem that I have with that is that you're almost trying to relitigate the game. They've made the decision for whatever reason. For the offside, it's not the referee's decision. That's VAR that does it. But sometimes when I don't know. I do have a bit of a problem with that. I can understand why you wanted to know why they made certain decisions, but I mean, there's where is it? There's a game not so long ago where it's Oliver, the northeast ref, made a mistake, and when he went to VAR, you could see that he was actually mortified that he made that mistake. I don't think that. I personally don't think that referees make mistakes on deliberately. It's like I don't believe that players, when they step on the pitch, don't try. It may be that I mean, we've seen relegation battles over the years, and we've seen them where the players have come out and they started brightly, and as soon as a goal's gone in, they fall apart. And I don't think that's deliberate. And people say, "Oh, he's not trying." I think they are. I think it's just say losing is a habit, just like winning is. And once you get into that situation where, well, you're struggling, and then you go a goal behind the head's drop, then players are trying to be too careful. They don't want to make a mistake, which is probably why they make the mistakes, because they're not playing with the freedom that they do when they don't have that massive pressure of relegation on their heads. And I think it's the same. I think it's to some respects the same with refs. They don't deliberately go out to screw things up, but some refs are better than others.
I mean, the thing is that
get them to explain it doesn't really. It's not going to change the decision. So is it really worth it?
I mean, the thing is, Rolly, it's like you see Peter Banks on VAR. Asked Paul Tierney to go and check the offside on the monitor. Now, they don't very often do this. And Paul Tierney spent a little bit of time looking at the monitor, and then he come on and said offside. And it was like, well, hang on a minute. How's that offside? I mean, you know, I've got a comment in the chat there that says Gary Neville's even dismayed by that offside. I mean, it's like, you know, if Gary Neville's coming out and saying, well, hang on, how's that offside? If he's questioning it and he's an ex-professional player, you know, it's just too inconsistent.
As a commentator or as a pundit, even as a mank, I think Gary Neville's actually a pretty straight shooter. So if he's mystified about, I didn't see that. I just saw the replay of the goal. I didn't know that he'd gone over to VAR. Again, it's interpretation of the rules. I saw it when they had the rules that they were highlighted on Sky, and I was thinking, well, yeah, but it's the defender that played the ball. If it'd been an attacker that played the ball to Longstaff, yeah, he's offside, but it's a defender, and it's not just one defender; it's two defenders.
Yeah.
So if the defender plays the ball, and he was close to the defender as well when it hit him, how can it be offside?
That's the thing, because we've seen this in the past, haven't we, where a player's been in offside position, a striker, for instance, and the ball's hit the defender on the way through, and he scored, but the goal stands because it's come off the defender. We've seen it many a time, even with VAR. I just think... But it's like, it was like Ashington said earlier on, he said, VAR is not the problem, it's the officials who are operating it are the problem.
At the end of the day,
At
the end of the day, with VAR, you've got a human making the decision. And humans make errors. It may be that the guy watching the VAR is saying, well, he's offside when the ball was played across, so it's got to be offside now. But forgetting that Longstaff didn't actually try to play the ball, the defender hit it off him, and it was the defender that played the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's similar to the way I look at it. When the player that plays the ball is the defender, it's a bit like you can't be offside if you're behind the ball, even if there's no one between you and the goal. It's a similar situation. In the fact that because it's come off the defender, you can't be offside. And it's not just it come off the defender played the ball. It wasn't like it was a ricochet. He actually played the ball and it hit Longstaff. And it's like and that wasn't what caused the goal. Because remember a few seasons ago when Callum Wilson had a goal ruled out against Liverpool where the ball hit his arm. And he scored. and it's ruled out because you can't score directly from a handball. Well, this is similar. If it's offside, it hit the defender played it. It hit him. He couldn't do anything about it, and it didn't directly lead to. If the ball had hit Longstaff and gone into the net, then you can have an argument it's offside. But it didn't. It went to Isak, who then played the ball across for Longstaff for Anderson to score. So I don't understand why they disallowed that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm just going to run through some comments. Jack says, "What a win, Tony." Yeah, absolutely, mate. Fantastic win. I did say it would be a tough game, but we won it anyway. Joel says, "Next match, I guess, be Big Joe who takes left wing. Maybe, we don't know. We'll find out. Got a couple of weeks to wait for that one." Ashington says, "Nottingham have been buying officials as well as 30 players. Didn't think they were that bad." Jody says, "Big Joe back for the Man U match." Absolutely. Troll says, "Yes." Gary says, "I thought that was strange when Wilson being on the bench. I see he's not trained all week." Yeah, maybe he's just...
I thought it was as well.
Yeah, but... And he seemed to look as if he was going to come on, didn't it? And then he was like getting the thing from Eddie Howe, but then he went for a warm-up. But I think that's what happened was Eddie Howe gave him the instructions to go down the touchline and say to Maxi, "Look, tell Isak he's got to go left, and you're going into the you're going to be the central striker." So, because that's what Isak said. Isak played a full 90, didn't he? Good to see. Yeah, absolutely, Ashington, brilliant. I mean, 97 minutes in total, wasn't it? You could see Anderson looked upset. Yeah. Navas didn't even move, did he? Ashington says, "You could see Anderson looked upset there. Denying him his goal was ridiculous." Yeah, definitely. Alan says, "Hope they keep Murphy. He's been good." Do you know what? I can see Murphy staying as a squad player, definitely. Ashington says, "Paul Tierney is always shit. Why refs don't get punished for such bad officiating is beyond me." That's the thing. That's the thing. And the thing is, it's half-time, Rolly. It's half-time. Paul Tierney pulled Jason Tyndall and Steve Cooper into his office at half-time and told them that any more between them two and they're both getting sent off to the stands.
Okay. I mean, the thing
during that, sorry, Rolly, just to add, just before that, though, there was a bit of a touchline argument between Graham Jones and Eddie Howe. Something was being said between them. I don't know what it was. And Eddie Howe sort of just told Graham Jones, just basically go away and sit down. And you could see Graham Jones mouthing something like F off back to Eddie Howe. So, don't know what it was over. Don't know if it was over tactics or whatever. But Eddie Howe and Graham Jones were having a little bit of a set to.
Let's say I didn't see the game, so
yeah,
I can't really comment on that. Maybe they had a disagreement on what to do at that point in time, and then Eddie pulled rank, which he should do.
Yes, I think that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
I mean, Joel says Eddie has proved right. I mean, as I say, I haven't seen the game, so I can't talk much about what happened. I obviously saw that ASM was yanked off at half time. Do you reckon that Joe Linton starts on the left when we play Man U?
Well, that's a funny one because Elliot Anderson had a good second half. That's the thing. So I don't know. This is where Eddie Howe earns his corn, and Eddie Howe's got to work out who does he play. I personally think he will play Joe Linton because I think he'll think, right, okay, Anderson's had a good 45 minutes, but I can't just give him a start and just think, all right, he's going to start and he's going to carry this on. So, yeah, I think he will do. I think he does start with Joe Linton. But they're all going to be panicking now because, Man U's got European to still do, Europa League. They've got Sevilla in the next round. Spurs are out the Champions League. Shock or not. Liverpool's out the Champions League. Again, not a shock. But yeah, Yeah, I can see him probably starting Joe Linton. I'll just run through
I
some
think
more comments.
so. I think Joe Linton will start, and
Mm,
I think that he's got enough credit in the bank to start after a suspension. And if so, I don't know what ASM was like in the first half, but if he's yanked him at half time, that suggests that he won't start against Man U, which makes me think that
no,
it'll be Joe Linton to start.
yeah.
Uh, um,
Uh,
though we've won the 2 games without him, we have in the Wolves game, though ASM played well, we did miss that energy of Joe Linton in midfield.
yes.
Um, I get the feeling that moving forward next season that ASM is going to be more of a squad player, impact sub. I think we will sign a winger, and that will be to play on the left.
Mm,
Um, Obviously, the jury's still out on Anthony Gordon. He's only played a couple of games and now he's injured. So
yeah.
he's only going to be involved in, we've got 12 games left?
Hopefully he's back for the Everton game and he scores a last
Yeah, we've
minute
got
winner
12 games.
against Everton
Yeah,
at Goodison Park.
yeah, he's got 12 games left. He's probably so there's 10 games he'll be involved in. Then and I think that one of the problems he's got, it may be part of what is sort of held him back a bit, is that the energy that we play with and the pressing that we play with, and Eddie Howe wants, is light years away from what Everton do. Because when you look at Everton, it's a bit like a Steve Bruce coach team when it comes to the
Yeah.
fitness. So he's got to get his fitness up to play in our attack. I mean, that's one of the things he said about Isak. Oh, I can't play 90 minutes in our team, which is
Yeah.
because we press. That's one thing I noticed against Wolves when he was on. Boy, did that guy press!
Mm. I mean,
Uh,
Marcho says that whenever you let a bad tackle go early on, the game goes to shit. And he says, Ayew should have been booked early for that terrible tackle. Do you agree, Pete?
Yeah, at least it was a yellow card.
So who's the very
least?
Absolutely.
Who was the tackle on again? Who was it again?
Fabian Schär.
Schär. Yeah, Schär. That's right. Yeah, it was Schär because Schär was down for quite a while.
I'm at a disadvantage because I wasn't able to watch the game, so I'm relying on you guys to fill me in.
Yeah, because he's done quite a few of that. Ayew. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Ashton says that ref shouldn't be a ref. No. Gary says we was robbed yet again by VAR, lads. Absolutely. Ashton says I would be happy with some European refs over ours. They're all crap. Yeah, they are. Definitely. We've only got 2 decent refs, and that's Michael Oliver, one of our own, and Anthony Taylor. Harry says VAR isn't bad.
Slightly there, Tony. I don't think that all the refs are crap, but most of the refs do have crap games now and then.
Yeah,
because sometimes they have good games. I think it's the consistency of the performances is more of an issue rather than all being crap. I think Anthony Oliver and who's the other guy you mentioned?
Anthony Taylor.
Yeah, I mean they're the most consistent of the referees, and I think that's the issue. It's not so much that you occasionally get some guy that's out of his depth, and they tend to make real howlers and get sent down to the championship. But I think in general, the rest have good games and bad games. Some have more bad games than good, but all the rest are capable of most of the rest, I should say, are capable of having good games, and it's just how consistently they have them.
I mean, the thing is, I think over the summer, Howard Webb. I mean, we've got to remember Howard Webb only come in December. I think Howard Webb will make his mark on the referees, on the PGMOL, once the season finishes. And I think he'll have a sit down, he'll assess what he's got. And I think next season, we're going to see a difference and we'll probably see an improvement. This is what he's done in the States, and he's done a very good job in the States in the MLS. And the guy's going to have time, and he's already started that with the VAR. But I think going forward, we might see a lot better. But let's see. Anyway, Harry says VAR isn't bad. It's just the inconsistent with the decisions it gives. Absolutely, and he says.
Yeah.
I was gutted that young Ando's goal didn't count, but we got the 3 points, and that's all that matters. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Ashton says, Shadi is said to try and claim the ball hit his head when it clearly put his arm out. Thing is, though, would it have been checked on VAR? Joel says, VAR should have automated giving the ref a sound to go and check them on and not having incompetent people running into it. Yeah, definitely. Alan says, don't know why Anderson's goal was disallowed. Can't be offside. Came off a Forest player. Now to do with the top six. Do you know what it is, Alan? Exactly. It came off a Forest player. And that's what I was always told.
The 2 Forest players.
Yeah.
It's not just the guy that kicked it off. It came off another. The moment when Isak's cross goes in, when the ball is played by the Forest player across the goal, Longstaff can't be offside because it's been played by a Forest player. And it's played by another Forest player.
It's, I'm just going to try and catch up with some of these comments. I'm going to come back to Pete. Ian says, all right, Tony and Pete, hope you're all okay. Yeah, we're absolutely fine, mate. Thank you very much. Jack from Toon TV. Even Gary Neville says the goal should have stood. Not saying something. Absolutely, Jack. I mean, he's spot on.
Like him or hate him, Gary Neville does, when he's talking about football, he knows what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm. I shouldn't say it's a bit of a shame the last 2 games of that team scored one from Trippier sipping and Botman messed up. Yeah, but at least we've won the games. That's the main thing. Jody says, problem with VAR comes down to being inconsistent. You can't make a call on something and then go against it in another match. It has to be the same calls across the whole board. You're absolutely spot on, Jody. Absolutely right, mate.
I think that's something that Webb will get sorted. Once he's had a summer to work with the referees in preparation for next season, as you said, Tony. I think coming through halfway through a season, they've got used to the way that they have been doing it under the previous guy in charge, and looking at a totally different way of doing it. It takes time.
Yeah. Ian Toon Trader says the ref was an effing disgrace. You're not wrong there. Ashton says, shame about Willock's miss. Yeah, definitely. Gary says that was a fantastic finish from Isak Peter for the first goal. I mean, it was tremendous.
Finish.
Ian says we need to stop meeting like this, trolls. Anderson was effing Rob, says Ian. He was, yeah. Ashton says, shame about Miggy being out, but at least he'll get a rest. Well, that's it, yeah, and a reset. Alan says, what do you think of the Forest goal? Botman careless or just unlucky?
I think Botman was careless there.
Careless, he was, wasn't he? He just didn't really look. Yeah, if he had looked round, he would have saw Dennis coming in and then he wouldn't have made that pass. But he just made it on the blind side and he put Pope under pressure. Bia says Paul Tierney has changed his mind after the game on the disallowed goal. He just said on Sky, what a load of bullshit.
He's just changed his mind, has he?
Oh, God.
Well, in the words of to Paul Tierney and in the words of Paul from the Toon Review, I think Paul Tierney needs to go and take his face for an absolute shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul says good win now. Rest up in Dubai and go on an unbeaten run.
I think one of the problems with VAR is that you have referees that made decisions on the field and VAR's told them to have a look and they thought, oh shit, I've made a mistake. And then they go over and then they've already got in their mind that they need to change the decision rather than thinking, right, they think I made a mistake, but I'm sure that I've got it right. Because
yes,
you don't often see refs go to the VAR and stick with their original decisions. It does happen, but it's not that often. And if they've got the conviction of their decisions, when they go to VAR, unless they were obviously blatantly got it wrong, they should
Yeah.
stick with their decision. I don't think enough refs stick with their on-field decision. I mean, the way I looked at it, I don't know if any of you guys are cricket fans. When they do, they have the review for court or particularly LBW. They'll do whether it's a fair ball. They'll do whether the bat hits the ball. If it doesn't, they'll then do the ball tracking onto the stumps. Now, if the ball is less than 50% hitting the stumps, they go with the umpire's call.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, when they go for a review, it's not automatic if the ball's hitting the stumps that it's out. But if it's close, they stick with the umpire's decision. So I think that when refs go to the VAR, they should be going that I need to see something that's irrefutable that I've got it wrong. If it's one of those it could be, it may be, I need to stick with my decision.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they go wrong, because they've gone over to the monitor with the mindset, I've got it wrong, rather than thinking, I've got it right. I want them to show me something that proves I'm wrong. And I think that's why they have so many of these contentious VAR decisions, because they've gone over thinking I've got it wrong, I need to change my decision, rather than thinking I've got it right, I need them to prove that I've got it wrong.
Definitely.
I think you change that mindset. If they go over the mindset, I think I've got it right, I think I made the right decision, prove to me that I haven't, we'll get more VAR decisions that they've stick with the original decision, which would remove a lot of the things. How the hell have they disallowed that? Or how the hell have they given that? I mean, some of the red cards, I think, they look worse in slow motion, but I think for the challenges, it's not so much about the speed, it's where they catch the player, whether it's dangerous or not. So slowing it down makes a difference. Like Sabritzer should have got a red card for his challenge on, I think it's Brighton player, Leicester player, the fast centre half.
Yes.
But I don't care how fast that is. He's caught him on the knee. That's a red card. It's not disputable. Challenges do look worse, but if you look at where the player's caught, that's more to do. That's where you look at the red card. I mean,
there you go, Sabitzer.
Yeah, it's got him just below the knee.
Yeah,
that's a red card. I don't care how fast it is, whether he's trying to take his foot down. That's a red card. It's dangerous.
That is a red card all day, that when you see that, right?
Yeah.
But then you've got this challenge, right? Okay, from Casemiro, right? Which is lower down, and he gets a red card. So that's what I'm saying.
I couldn't see it. You've got the comment in front.
Oh, okay. I'll put Casemiro back on. I'll just go back to me comment and take that comment off a minute. But where you see Casemiro, it's a lot lower down, right? On Alcaraz. Now he gets a red card for that, but on the Sabitzer one, he gets away with it, no punishment whatsoever. That's where VAR is inconsistent, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, if I remember correctly, he hits the top. It almost goes over the top of the ball and catches the guy, which is still a red card. But it's if you catch someone in the knee for a challenge, I don't care how quick it is. That's a red card because your foot has no business being near someone's knee. I mean, Bruno's red card was mistimed. Yeah, you can't really argue it's a red card.
Yeah,
but I mean, sometimes players mistime the challenges, and if you catch the guy on the ankle, you go. But yeah, it's. I think a lot of it's the mindset of the referee when they go to the monitor. They think, "Oh shit, I've made a mistake." When they're told to look at it, rather than thinking, "No, I've got it right. Prove that I've got it wrong."
Yeah,
I mean, you look at and then the angles that they show on the VAR, like against Crystal Palace at St James's Park, where Willock's pushed into the keeper. VAR just concentrated on Willett making contact with the keeper, and they didn't show him the fact that he was pushed into the keeper.
No, they didn't. No.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the problem. That there's too much inconsistency. They show the angles they want to show rather than showing the angles that matter.
Yeah. I mean, Ian says Eddie said on Sky that ASM had a thigh issue, but I think Ian says, but I think he had laziness issue today. It just didn't look interesting for me. Anderson should replace him on merit. Yeah. Lee says,
I mean, I haven't seen that, but I mean, I always have a problem with people say, "Oh, they're lazy," because these guys are professional. They want to do well. I don't think any player of any club goes onto the pitch thinking, "Oh, can't be asked today." He may have an issue, maybe he just couldn't get into the game. But I don't think players go out thinking, "I can't be asked today." I don't think there's anyone that can convince me otherwise. But they may not play well. They may be out of form. They may have other issues. But I don't think they deliberately go out and can't be asked. And I don't think there's anyone that convince them. If you have a bad game, you have a bad game. It happens. Even the best had bad. I mean, Alan Shearer had bad games for us. But it's not because he wasn't trying. And as professional footballers, I believe this to the core, don't go out onto the pitch not to try. Because they want by nature, they're competitive. You look at how many people would love to play professional football and how many people can actually do it. They're not going to just turn up and think, "Oh, I can't be asked." And most of them actually love what they do. If they don't play well, they don't play well. It happens. I don't think anyone goes deliberately out thinking, "Oh, I'm being lazy," or "I can't be asked." I mean, Tony, you'll remember in the 80s when Chris Waddle was playing for us. Half the time, he looked like he wasn't interested at all. The moment he got the ball, he sprang to life, and it's just the appearance rather than the actual the attitude. Because you think, the way I look at it is that if you look at a swan on a lake, it looks all serene and the care of the world. If you go under the water, its legs are paddling like billiard. It's just the appearance more than the actual fact. I don't think, especially in a club like ours, which is on an upwards trajectory, that any player goes out there thinking, "I can't be asked. I'm feeling lazy today. I'm not going to put a shift in." Say people have bad games. They can be off form. It happens, but I don't think they don't go out to try.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just trying to flick through some comments here. Hi, Ian. Hope you're well, mate. And I mean, it's like I say. I mean, if I was to do, because this week hasn't finished yet, we've still got the weekend to go yet. But if I was to give this award out, Cock of the Week, I would definitely be giving this award out to VAR because the Cock of the Week over that.
You could do that every week, Tony.
You could do, but I'm definitely giving them it this time because poor Elliot Anderson didn't get his goal. So I'm just going to come to you now, Pete. I mean, we've had the troubles with VAR and how inconsistent it is, and I mean, to be fair, what's your overall thoughts on that referee tonight, Pete?
Just utter dog shit. I mean, some of more Forest players should have been yellow carded. Shelby, one of them. IU should have been straight away as well. The goal disallowing us, awful referee, Paul Tierney.
I mean, the thing is, Pete, if when that went to VAR for that offside, but why didn't the linesman put his flag up then? Exactly. Do you know what I mean? When Isak was on the floor, he could easily have had that flag up and but he didn't put it up. So he wasn't obviously convinced that it was offside, was he?
So I didn't see the game. When Anderson put the ball in the net, did the linesman put the flag up then? Or
No.
was it just VAR that intervened?
Yes,
VAR.
That's where your problem is, because it's, from my point
There
of
was
view,
no
it's,
lines drawn either as well.
No, there wasn't. No.
If the linesman didn't put the flag up, he thinks it's onside, and it's VAR that said, "Oh no." So the ref says it's okay. The linesman said they go, but I'm going to screw this up and say no, it's offside.
Ian says there, the media are saying it's not offside, and Ian Toon Trader says refs can't do anything after the game as they're counting their prize money. And Paul says refs need to take note from rugby so the fans can hear what they're saying. Yeah, exactly the same in rugby, the same in cricket.
Yeah, I mean,
Ashington says give the refs red cards for bad decisions, get them off for a few games. Well, sometimes what happens, Ashington, is they get demoted to the championship for a couple of games. I mean, we saw that with Mike Dean last season. He had a bad game and he got demoted to the championship. Look what happened to Lee Mason. He just walked, didn't he, after the VAR atrocities. And John Brooks was on VAR and made an error. And he got taken off the refereeing duties. I think it was for the Liverpool game, if I remember rightly. So, you know, they do get punished in some ways. I'm just going to nip through some comments here because we're really behind on these comments.
Can I just quickly comment on that? Hearing the actual discussion between the VAR and the line and the ref, I think that would be actually interesting to hear, because then you actually get to see what they're why they think that the decision should be changed, and it give people a better understanding of what's going on and it also show how strong the ref is, because if he thinks he's got the decision right, and it could be that the VAR is trying to persuade him that it's wrong, rather than him actually being wrong. It'll be interesting to hear, because in rugby, when there's tries scored and the ref's not it's a try, it's not sure, he'll say, is there any reason why I can't award the try? And they'll show him the angles. So if I can't see anything, I'm just going to stick with my decision. And I think that the refs in rugby empowered more because of the discipline of rugby players, and there's no back chat to the ref in rugby, and it's not because they disagree with the ref. It's just that if you give away a penalty anywhere, including up to your halfway line, if you back chat the ref, they move it 10 yards forward, and you're giving away points. And they're competitive and they don't want to win. They want to win, so they're not going to try and make a penalty kick easier for the opposition. So they've got that they have that respect, because they know that the punishment they get for dissent could cost them the game. Whereas in football, you back chat the ref, you get a yellow card. You might be able to swing, you might not. But it doesn't mean, just because you get a yellow card, it doesn't mean that the other side have got an easier chance of getting points. And that's why there's so much more respect for referees in rugby. Because, I used to play rugby at school. And if you back chat the ref, they move it 10 yards forward. If you keep on, they'll move it another 10 forward. They could literally move it until they get to the try line, sort of thing. And then there's certain offences where if you're going to stop a certain try, they'll actually, if you do it consistently, they'll give the other side a try. The back chat and foul play in various certain positions costs you points, which could lose you the game. In football, they tried moving it 10 yards forward, but you get to a certain point in the field, you move it 10 yards forward, and it's harder for the team taking the free kick to score. Because if you've got a kick that's 25 yards out, and you put it at the edge of the box, it's difficult to get the ball up and down over the wall in that space. So it makes it harder. That's why it didn't work. But because back chat is very unlikely to cost them points or goals. That's why it keeps on. Because I get a yellow card, that's fine.
Yeah. Jack says Pete, he says he thought Botman's passing was awful today, did you?
At times it
That
was,
wasn't
wasn't
the
it?
best. Wasn't the best, was it? I mean, it's just not really there. I mean, Sefton's agreeing with Jack as well. Coffee says, last season before the takeover, we would have crumbled after conceding, but how has cultivated the fight and spirit in the team? Yeah, absolutely. Jody says, do you not think it's about time the supporters got to hear what is being said? Yeah, we've just mentioned that one there, Jody. Tanji says Potman had his worst game for Newcastle tonight, but he's still been fantastic. Is that your opinion as well, Pete? Do you agree with that?
I mean, he was quite sluggish with his passing, particularly for the first goal as well. But yeah, I thought Maxi disappointed me a lot more as well, with him being an attacker as well.
Yeah, definitely, Pete. I mean, Foxy says Anderson game changer for us today, keeps his place for the next game. Not many teams will pick up 3 points at the City Ground. That's a huge win, and that's absolutely right, Foxy.
Yeah,
You're absolutely spot on.
I think of the teams in the mix for relegation, the team that I have the least fears about is Forest. Because was Brennan Johnson missing?
No, he played.
He played. Okay.
Nick Pope pulled off a save before we got the penalty. He got into an area and he hit it, but Pope saved it with his feet. Jack says
they've got some good
because they
players.
thought the defender cleared it instead of playing the ball. I mean, it's just laughable, that offside. Tanji says Elliot Anderson did fantastic when he come on. So unlucky with a disallowed goal, never offside. But hey, Rashford offside against Man City, perfectly fine. Yeah, again, it's contentious. That's the thing. Ian says, agree about Anderson. Thought Forest were a disgrace. Coffee says, read Nathan Judah's tweet. Okay, I'll have a look later. Thanks very much. Howard Webb has personally apologised to the club this week after admitting they have made the wrong decision at Newcastle. Okay. Geordie says, humans make errors, but they do make them week in, week out. Ian says, you can't be offside when the ball comes off an opposing player. Well, exactly, you can't be. That's what we can't understand. Another good game for Williquinho. Yeah. No human error. Sefton says, Forrest was set up to go in hard on every tackle, dirty play. Absolutely. By the manager who always looks stoned, Steve Cooper. You can if you really are the tune. Andrew Bell, good evening to you, sir. He says the disallowed goal is a joke. Absolutely. Tanji says we got the win we deserved. Now course on revenge for the day against Man United. Do you know what? That's exactly what it is. We need to get them. Stephen says if Man U or one of the cartels scored Anderson's goal, no VAR. Could be. Ian says Webb needs to sort his shit show out now and get these biased. Yeah, we know exactly what you mean, Ian. Jody says, Shearer tweet, I've sat in the stand as a fan. I've sat in the studio as a pundit. I've watched in the pub tonight with my mates and you're getting it all wrong. VAR, it's not what you told us, says Shearer. And he doesn't pull punches, Shearer. Ali Coffee says, Nick Pope is hugging a baby at full time. Pick on Adam P's profile. Must be his then. Willick, Isak were great, says Andrew. Yeah, they were.
Can I just? I'm sorry to interrupt. Talking about Willick, I didn't see the game, but I thought it was superb against Wolves on Sunday. With Mason Mount pulling out the England squad, do you think Willick's worthy of a call up as his replacement?
I do. What about you, Pete?
I agree.
I mean, did you hear Carragher tonight, Pete? I don't know if you wouldn't have, would you know? But during the first, was it during the first half? Might have been, or the second half. I think it was the first half, actually. Carragher actually said, why is Dan Burn not in the England team? He says, maybe not as a left back because a lot of competition, but definitely as a centre half. Yep. He says, why isn't he in there?
He said, why is Maguire in? Because he
exactly. Answer to that is Gareth Southgate.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
But but in Maguire's defence, he's never let England down.
He
He's always
hasn't
played
in a
well
way.
for England.
But
But
Gareth Southgate should give other people an opportunity, not just stick with the same old every time, which is what he does.
I think with it being qualifiers, he's going to go with what he knows. But when we have friendlies, I think he is too loyal because he needs to look at other players. I think that Willock should be at least knocking on the door for the England squad because he's been superb this season.
Absolutely.
Tanji says Graham Jones should just go and be Southgate's yes man instead of telling Eddie Howe to fuck off. That's what he did, yeah. Does he look good? Okay, right. Let's just catch up with some of these comments. Harry says there's a lot of football to be played between now and the end of the season. We have great matches in April against the likes of Southampton, Villa, West Ham, etc., which are all must win. I mean, the thing is, we've got Villa away, we've got Everton away, we got West Ham away, we've got Southampton to come at home, we've got Spurs to come at home, Man U to come at home. Beat Man U and Spurs and win those two games in hand. Spurs are well behind us, and it would take a lot for them to catch up, unless we went on a really bad run.
The other good thing is that we're 5 points ahead of Liverpool, and we're on the same games.
Mm-hmm. Casemiro, like Mason says, one more bonus. Casemiro suspended. Yeah, Miggy's out for 6 weeks. Says Coffee. Sefton says very, very poor officials tonight. Yeah, absolutely, Sefton. I've got to agree. Andrew says ESM will be on the list of a player with a price in the summer, defo. Roy, that's what it wins, says the King of Qatar.
Mm-hmm. Well, I always go back to what I say about, I said about ASM, I said about Longstaff, I said about Murphy, the players we need to shift before we get rid of the likes of them. If someone comes in with a silly offer for ASM, we'll let them go. But I mean, silly offers like 60 million, yeah. But you let ASM go, you weaken the squad.
Yes.
I think we'll look to get a winger in who'll be better than ASM, but then he's a good. I mean, we've seen the impact he's made coming off the bench.
Possibly, yeah. Diaby's the one I would like. I mean, who saw his goal? Who saw his goal for Leverkusen yesterday?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I want Diaby. I'd love to have Diaby. If we make it to the Champions League, we might be able to get him. But there are players. We still got to shift and replace the likes of Fraser. Matt Ritchie's not going to get a new contract, nor is
he'll be gone this summer.
Dunnett's not going. Manquillo needs to go. Obviously, Gillespie. There are players that we need to get. I think we'll get 5, maybe 6 players in the summer. I think it's going to be 5, and we've got more than 5 players that actually need to get shot off before we start looking at the Longstaffs, Murphys, and ASMs of this world. Because we need a strong bench. I mean, you look at the team we put out today, it's a good team. You look at the bench, because Miggy's injured. You look at the players that come in, the only one that is first team standard is off form, and that is Wilson. The rest, you're looking, you wouldn't be disappointed if they go. I mean, Dubravka is a lot of people want Dubravka to go because of his dalliance with Man United, but he's a when he was our number 1, he was one of the better keepers in the league. I think he'll want to go because he wants first team football and he's not going to get that whilst Nick Pope's there. But I wouldn't be disappointed if he stayed because that would give us probably the best 1 and 2 keepers in the league.
I mean, Oliver says Isak's a machine, so much pace, better than that Liverpool striker that cost 100 million quid. But yeah, he's got some pace. Roy says I'm the Persian Geordie dancer. Oliver says Isak could be the difference between finishing 4th or 5th. That win was without Big Joe, remember, and he's back now. Come on, absolutely, Oliver. Well said.
Isak has been sorry, Isak's been he's been hampered with the injury picked up when he went to Sweden. So God, I hope he doesn't get one now. No, he's going back there. And then he had the concussion, and then we were winning. So you don't change a winning team. And when Wilson was scoring, I think Eddie probably waited too long to put him in. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking that might be a fitness issue with the way that we play. Because obviously going into the Wolves game, he didn't think he was fit enough to play 90 minutes, and that's possibly why he's stuck with Wilson, because he's known Wilson longer. But now he's playing Isak, he's undroppable. 3 goals in 2 games, you can't argue with that. And what a first goal that was.
I mean, yeah, I'm just flicking through some comments here. I mean, Lewis has just come out with one must you be wondering for tonight for Elliot Anderson.
Maybe it's Ray Charles.
Yeah. Mate,
it's one of the two.
I mean, Tanji says for VAR to intervene, there has to be something wrong. But instead, they didn't make the decisions themselves. They then passed the responsibility to the referee. So why intervene in the first place?
Yeah.
Good point, Tanji.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Because VAR are only supposed to get involved if there's a clear and obvious mistake. Then they told the ref. I think the problem with the offsides is they've told the ref to go and look. And he's thought, well, I've made a mistake, when he hasn't.
Yeah.
I think the refs aren't strong enough when they're sent over to the monitor. They've gone over with the mindset, I've made a mistake. Show me something to prove I'm right, rather than to show me something to prove I'm wrong.
Geordie, breaking news. Forest signed their 1,000th sign the season by signing an Englishman called Paul Tierney.
I mean, the thing about it, I mean, with that VAR decision, he's had a stinker, Tierney. But I've seen quite a few games this season where he's actually had really good games, and I think it's human nature. You have good games, you have bad games. He's not the best referee that we've got in the Premier League. I wouldn't say that. I mean, there are. Again, his problem is he's different from game to game. He can have really good games.
Some breaking news. Breaking news. Apparently, Crystal Palace are in advanced talks for their new manager, and it may be Mr. Roy Hodgson. So Roy may be back. I mean, I'm not being funny. You sack Vieira to bring Roy Hodgson back. Why? I don't understand that one, but that's up to Palace, and it's nothing to do with us. So, to be honest, I couldn't care less.
The problem I have with the sacking of Vieira is that they've got the international break, which after tomorrow's game was given time. But how many teams have sacked managers with 12 or less games to go, and it's made a big difference? You're not going to. I mean, you're not going to turn a team round in 12 games. I mean, we've seen that. I mean, we had Rafa. He had. Did he have 12 games?
Same games.
And if we had 2 more, he'd have kept us up.
I think if he'd come in 2 weeks before, he would have definitely kept us up. I think he'd come in too late.
Yeah, and I think that if you sack a manager with 12 games to go or less, it's real panic. And I don't think that they can make that much difference.
Yeah. Because
they don't know the players. They've got to try and change the style to their style. They've got to figure out who. It's just not enough time. Right? Palace in a slightly different position than when Rafa came in. It's because they're not in the relegation zone at the moment. I just see that comment.
Jack's comment there, Pete. Paul Tierney can go and lick a camel's hoof.
You look at Palace. I mean,
Jesus, Jack. Bloody hell.
Oh god!
yeah.
May as well go and lick the camel's ass.
Oh! Oh, Jesus.
You'll get that. What is it? They used to say that in. I can't think of what the saying was now in this special advert, but it's that it's not Middle Eastern taste, but it's when they used to have the Turkish delight advert and you see you get that taste. It's what you get. But anyway,
The Taste of Arabia. What was it? French Turkish delight. I forget what the strap line was, but
I forgot what it was. Yeah. Joe Linton says, very posh, the lad on the bottom.
Thank you, Joe Linton.
Tanji says, the referee did at least see the handball, because if he didn't, I wonder if VAR would have checked it. They would have had to, wouldn't they? And if they didn't give that, they would have got really slated.
I mean, but as I say, I mean, he got that right. I think the obvious, when it's obvious, I think Tierney tends to make the right call. Is stuff. I think it's weakness and lack of belief in his ability.
Yeah.
The ref, when you haven't got that ability in what you're doing, you're going to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ian says, sorry, Tony, but all this rubbish about the refs is bollocks. Anyone watching the game today could clearly see they were biased. I'm sick of people saying it's human error. Do you know what it is, Ian? You're totally right. I mean, he was shocking tonight. That referee was absolutely terrible tonight. He really, really was. And, we shouldn't be talking about the refs. They shouldn't even be the talking point of the games. And as I say, I think it goes back to the summer. I think at the end of the day, Howard Webb just has to get this sorted out, and let's just see what happens next season. Foxy says, Forest is a type of team that make games ugly. They never really want possession. Then they try and hit you on the counter with the pace of Brennan Johnson. He nearly got Forest an undeserved 2-1 lead late in the second half. Exactly, Foxy. You're exactly spot on, mate, what you've just said. Harry says, human errors week in, week out don't happen. If you did that in any other workplace, you'd face relevant action. It's the same as refs.
Yeah, but
Shearer wants to be careful with that. His tweets, otherwise the BBC will ban him on Match of the Day. I tell you what, I think the BBC's had their fingers burnt now, and I don't think they'll do that again.
I mean, that was shocking. That's a shocking decision. Shocking.
I mean, yeah. Guys, if you like what you see, then please smash a like. It really does help the channel up with search results. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe. Free to do so, helps the channel grow. And bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm going to come on to another. I'm going to bring up another. I'm going to bring something else on in a moment. And Lewis said. Did you see Match of the Day last week? By the way, Pete. And
I didn't actually.
It was piss poor. There was no intro, no outro, just straight to the highlights. No commentary, just straight to the highlights, and that's all you saw. And it was like, that's it. It was just rubbish. It wasn't even worth watching.
So
it was a turn off. It wasn't a turn on, that's for sure. It was a turn off.
Now, I think they've realised that because they pretty quickly came to an agreement with Lineker. I'll get a little political here, if you indulge me for a moment. If Lineker's comments had been praising the government, they wouldn't have batted an eyelid. It's because he was criticising him. Oh, we've got to be impartial. You're not allowed to say things that aren't impartial. It's not got anything to do with the news. It's a sports caster, for God's sake. Whether you agree with his politics or not, he shouldn't be. If he was a newscaster or a politics reporter, you can understand them having problems with him doing on his own social media something against the government. But he's a sportscaster, for God's sake.
Exactly. You don't mix politics with sport, but obviously the BBC did. But yeah, so I'm going to bring this up. So in the second half, Pete, obviously towards the end of the game, we had the Forest fans. If you can hear a noise, by the way, sorry, I do apologise, but it's beyond my control. It's absolutely chucking it down with rain outside. But yeah, so Forest fans thought they were in line for a penalty, and there was no way it was a penalty for this incident. So there we go. So as you can see there, Nick Pope saves the ball. Do you remember that bit, Pete? Saves the ball. Sam Surridge runs into him, doesn't he? And then tried to claim a penalty, and the referee didn't buy it. I mean, even if the referee had said that was a penalty, VAR would have looked at that and said, hang on a minute, you've made an error, go back and check. Because Pope was taken out. But thankfully, it didn't come to that. And but I just thought I'd bring that one up. But yeah, it's absolutely awful out there. Can
I just make something just come to my mind about referees? The good referees, or when they're having a good game, we don't talk about them. We only talk about them when they make big mistakes. And it only has to be one or two big mistakes, and they get absolutely pilloried. Yeah, it's good to see that you praising him for actually getting that one right, because people seem to forget about the decisions they make right and only concentrate on the ones they get wrong. Mm-hmm. I can understand that because it affects the game, particularly if it's things like goals disallowed. But just because it's more that's why I say it's inconsistency, because in the same game they can call a number of decisions, get it right where it could be detrimental to one side and the other if they get it wrong. But when they do get it wrong, that's what's highlighted. So you've got to have a certain amount of balance. So I haven't seen the game, but going through his judgment, he's had a situation where someone could have given a penalty, and then it'd be up to VAR to overturn it if they decided they wanted to, but he's got it right. So we do tend to pillory refs for the two or three decisions that they get badly wrong, and not recognise the decisions that they got right that were important in the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I said earlier, Pete. Foxy said, I wouldn't be surprised to see Southampton get a result at home against Spurs. Spurs usually win one, then lose one.
They do normally, don't they?
And Paul says, hi, Peter.
Under inconsistency, there's a picture of Spurs.
Yeah, I like coffee says, who needs match of the day when you have Tony PD, John, and the Toon Review? Absolutely, mate. And on here, you can mention... But I don't have a problem with you mentioning other channels on here. You know, like ones that we like, likes of TTR and that. I mean, you won't get your comment removed on here. Because Gary D put on the other day on the channel that TTR was on, and he got his comment removed, and I just thought, how petty. Sorry, but it just thought it was bloody petty because, you know, we're all good friends with Paul and Billy and Danielle and Alex. And for his comment to be taken off, it was just petty in my eyes. And I don't care who knows about that.
But normally when I watch TTR, they only take comments off if they're stupid or offensive.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the comment was, but
it was on John's channel on Sunday. I think it was Sunday. And it was because it was after the Wolves game, and I think it was Gary D who put it on. And he just said, TTR having a show at 8:30, and John's okay with TTR anyway because John likes the Toon Review. So, but his comment was removed by him buy a mod on there, and I just thought, how pathetic, how pathetic. Sorry, it's just, I don't have any qualms of mention anybody's channels. If Pete doesn't watch along or tune review, I'll mention both channels. I just don't have a problem.
There's so many good Newcastle channels on YouTube. Obviously, the best one is It's All Black and White TV. But Pete's is, I thought Pete's is good, John's is good, Toon Review, NUC Matters, Loaded Mag, the Newcastle fans. There's so much good content on Newcastle. I mean, it's a joy to listen to and participate in. I mean, I live in Merseyside, so coming on channels like Tony's or John's or Pete's when I get the chance is great, because I can get to talk Newcastle to people that actually care about Newcastle. Otherwise, I can talk football to my mates around here, but they all want to talk about Liverpool or the Scouse Mackhams, which I have no real interest in. So it's great being in here and talking Newcastle.
Yeah, I was going to show on screen. This is what Tanji just sent me. He's just me this. I mean, this is hilarious. I mean, we've seen this on our group chat, but yeah, this is absolutely hilarious. So let me just share this on screen, because I think this will be right up Pete Street. Pete will love this one.
Go on then.
It's got to be food or
there
something.
You go, Pete. Daddy, we are out of Europe. Stop crying, son. We still have the Eurovision.
I'm the one that shared that on the Northwest Mags. So I got that from a friend.
Oh, you've also got the Bruno Fernandes one was so funny.
Oh yes, I'll show that one. If you want to see Bruno Fernandes
one
in all his glory, then I'll find it if it's on here. Hang on, just bear with me one moment, and I'll bring old Bruno Fernandes on, because that you can buy it as a picture if you want it. I mean, but then I suppose one thing, you could use it to scare the burglars away. That's for sure. Just bear with me while I find this, and I will pop it on there for you. Hang on. Give me 1 minute, and that'll be on the screen in a moment. And right, there's it. Bear with me, guys. So I did have it on my overlay, but then I took it off there. But
I can find it if you're honest. I know where I put it. I'm pretty sure I put it in the group chat as well.
Did you?
Yeah, let's have a look.
I'll tell you where it is. Yeah, because I'll try and go through the group chat, but I can't.
Hold on, let's see if I can get it. Here we are.
Oh, Pete's got it. There we go. And it comes through. Bruno Fernandes.
That's the other one I was thinking of. The other one I've seen is with Ken Dot. There's a picture of Ken Dot coming out.
And another one.
For those of you of a younger generation, just Google
there's a Doma Traore.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh god.
Yeah, you've got to laugh, haven't you? You've got to laugh. Yeah. But Coffee says, "Is there a PD live show?
Still,
football show?
I'm gonna see if I can still do it. Still, it'll be either tomorrow or it'll be Sunday.
Will you be doing your food section?
Oh yes, absolutely.
The food section.
There's some monstrosities in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, something there, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
But
Buy
I
coffee.
will share some. I will share something on screen. You just bear with me 1 minute, and this will make a lot of people laugh.
What have we got?
Right, I'll show you in a moment. So
Oh god.
when I find it, hang on. Yeah, this will make you laugh. I mean, there we go. So this is oh, hang on. Why is that come up onto there? Let's let me zoom this up a bit, and then I'll bring it on screen. Right, just bear with. No, it's not showing me on that. I'll come back to that one in a minute, guys. But you will like this one because it is a good one if I can find it. But yeah, uh, it's to do with Charles, by the way, King. Charles. I mean, there's a lot going about, but I mean, here we go. So let's share this on screen. Let's give everybody a giggle. So in this corner here where it says TikTok, you can see there's King Charles's new pound coin out.
Oh god.
It's an odd shape because I've got to fit his ears in.
Oh.
I mean, there was another one there. Look, King Charles. There you go.
Oh god.
I thought
I'm a bit of a
I had to
but
bring that.
don't forget,
But
he's given us an extra bank holiday this year.
yeah, exactly. I mean, going through the team today, Pete. Who? Who stood out for you today? And who, obviously we know ESM had not the greatest game, and that's why he's probably hold off. And Eddie's saying it's a thigh injury, but we don't know. But what player stood out for you, and who was your man in the match today, Pete?
I think it's got to be Isak again. Just brilliant all over the pitch. The goal he scored for the equaliser was tremendous as well. The way he took the penalty was just calm as well. Just everywhere on that pitch. That is a striker's performance.
How many goals has he got?
That's his six now.
So second top scorer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So we've got 12 games less. Do you reckon he can get to 12 goals in that?
Oh, I think he can get double figures, no problem.
He can do.
I wouldn't surprise me he got 15, to be fair.
And he's played less than half a season.
Yeah.
Like I say, I didn't see him today, but he was superb against Wolves.
Yep.
I think we've got a real talent on our hands there.
A lot of people are starting to say that Isak's a bit like he's going to have that Thierry Henry about him, where he's skillful and pacey. Pete, do you think he could be the next Thierry Henry? I know he's not going to be exactly the Thierry Henry.
Oh no, but we could say he could be, couldn't he?
This season he started 7 out of 10 games. He's got 6 goals, and obviously he's got that. So he's got 6 goals out of 10 games, and 7 of them he started, and 3 as a substitute. That's a cracking return, isn't it?
Yeah.
And his crossing's 33% accurate per game, so that's not bad for crossing wise.
But I mean, he's the sort of player that, I mean, when Shearer was playing, he had a great crossing percentage. He's a brilliant crosser of the ball, but I don't want him crossing the ball. I want him in the middle, being on the end of it. And I think that, I mean, it's great in crossing the ball, but you want them to be on the receiving end.
Oh, I want to bring this up, Tony. Where's it? I'm just going to get it in a moment. This is Brian's just sent me this. Look at that.
Oh, that's brilliant. Foxy says, have a great weekend, everyone. Good luck to Southampton later and hope Fulham advance in the FA Cup.
Can you send that on the Twitter DM?
Yeah, I'll put that on. It was Brian who sent us that.
That's brilliant, that.
Gary says, did anyone watch the Tune Review watch along? Paul was going ballistic when VR decision went against us, lads. Oh, I didn't, sure, but I'll have to watch it back and see what he's and what he said. But yeah, so Lee says some sad people are having a go at the lads on the shows. The lads are doing a great job. Yeah, we are doing a great job, Lee, and there is a lot of it out there. Some people don't like it, and some people think we're sad, but we're not sad. We only doing what we love, and that's Newcastle United. We all love, and we all just like sharing our passion as podcasters.
The other thing about it is that they're having a go because they love the show. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't be watching.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not going to say too much about this, but it's on Twitter. There's a group on Twitter. I think it's disgusting. I've reported this group.
So
let's hope Twitter do something about it. I'm not going to say the group's name because I don't want to give them any airtime. And I don't want to publicise that group. But the thing is, though, it's absolutely disgusting. And I hope Twitter do something about it. And that's all I've got to say on it. I'll free to say it on all words and not bad. Absolutely sefton. Ian says, I'm going now, Tony. Great getting late, watching the rest tomorrow. Great show, though. Yeah, we're just about wrapping up as well, Ian, now. So thank you very much indeed, guys. I mean, it's been a terrific night. Pete, do you want to let everybody know where they can find you on your socials?
Absolutely, they can. So, yes, PD Proudlock on YouTube. I've done the watch along with Mr. Sinclair. We'll say be back tomorrow with a match review and the player ratings as well. So, yes, so that's my channel, PD Proudlock. Feel free to check out, subscribe, and follow me on my social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. They're all PD Proudlock as well.
And what time is your match review, Pete, just so people know?
I've not scheduled it yet. I've not done it yet, but you will be known in due course.
There you go. Pete hasn't put the time in his diary yet because the ink's not dry yet, so he'll have to wait. But yeah. And Rolly, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Paul67.
Thank you very much indeed, Rolly. Yeah, if you like what you see, then please smash a like. It does help the channel up the search results. Also, if you're new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe. Free to do so, helps the channel grow. And that bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. And talking of upcoming shows, I have one tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. So join me and Macy from Devils United, where we have a show that's called Let's Talk Football. And it's all things football. And it's going to be very interesting. And I've got a few questions I want to put to Maisie. And so I'm going to really put her on the hot seat and see what our answers will be to it. But it should be a great show. And I hope you can join us for that one at 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, it's been a great day today for Newcastle United. We got the win 3 points, a hard 3 points, and I did say it would be a tough place to go. The City Ground isn't an easy place, but we did very well, and we got the 3 points, and we're a point behind Spurs, 2 games in hand. Let's all be Southampton supporters tomorrow afternoon, and let's all roar Southampton on. I know they wear the red and white, but they're a different team from that red and white up the road, and let's go there. Let's let Southampton beat Spurs, and that will really send Spurs. Because I'll tell you what, if Spurs get beat tomorrow, their arse will start twitching even more. And the likes of Harry Kane will be crying because he might not be playing in the Champions League next season. The only way he'll get Champions League is if he goes to another club. Just through some comments, Lee says, being great. Tony, Pete and Rolly, keep up the good work, lads. Thank you very much indeed. Mason says,
Lee.
it's one of them, Mr. Sinclair, a true red. Lewis says, let's hope all kids win against Forest at Forest later on today, 1 p.m. kickoff. The kids are playing Forest at the training ground. Wow. And Lewis says, see you later. See you later, Lewis. And Mason's laughing. John Sinclair. Do you know what? Poor John gets a lot of stick, doesn't he? But then, he doesn't help himself.
He's a good lad, but he doesn't help himself. He gets sucked into the comments.
Right, I'm going to try and share something off Twitter quickly, guys. This is what Tangy's just sent was. I don't know if I can be able to play the sound. I don't know if I'll be able to get it on. Hold on. Right, this is what Tandy's just sent us, if you can see it. Ready?
Yeah. Shelby.
Can you DM that to me on Twitter, please?
That's
looks like Shelby.
What the fuck is...
Pete, you've got to DM me on Twitter with that one. That's brilliant.
Touchy, that's brilliant. Oh.
Mason's loving it.
Oh, God. Sorry.
Oh, fucking hell. And yes, so my socials, you can find me at Twitter on TonyTooney31. Give me a follow and I'll follow you back. You can also find me on Twitch at the same handle, TonyTooney31. I'm getting like John here with all these socials now. Apart from you won't find me at you won't find me on the Man United Red Zone. And you can find me on my channel where you're on now. Oh. Lewis says, good vibes, good vibes, good vibes. Oh. And Mason says, is that not Steve Cooper's number 2 getting stoned? Honestly.
Oh, but fair play to Steve Cooper. He's done a fantastic job at Forest.
Yeah.
But how would he be next season when he's gone cold turkey?
He's done really well, hasn't he? But
I'm sorry, I'm losing it. That thingy.
Hey,
that thingy. That was brilliant. Sorry, I'm not. Oh fuck! I'm God. I'm God.
I've just come across something here on Twitter, and I'm quite surprised by this. He must be so much into his plants and everything and his flowers. He must be a keen gardener, in fact. And apparently, this is Steve Cooper's allotment.
Oh God!
Because he's got an allotment in Nottingham, and it's massive. And look, It's got plenty of cannabis in there.
Oh no!
Steve Cooper's greenhouse.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh fuck!
Do you like that one, do you?
I like that. I'm still laughing at the thing he said.
Yeah. Oh, that was brilliant. That.
I'm sticking in that one. Chat.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Oh,
Lee says, class lads. Mason says,
Oh.
I've got a lot of time for Cooper and Alan Tate from the Swansea days. Yeah, they were. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Followed you on Twitch, Tony. It's Lewis off YouTube. Thank you very much, Lewis. Lee says, big box, little box. Let's hope you don't get told off for that, says Lewis.
Oh.
What's that for the cannabis plants? I've just forwarded you on Twitch. I won't get done for having that on. It's a stock photograph from the government. It's not. It says Thailand gives out 1 million free cannabis plants. Oh, Lee says, has that paper weed all about it? Oh God, honestly, we have a laugh. We have a laugh.
Oh, me too. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, wow.
Oh God, honestly. Right. On that note, we'll come to the end of the show. But thank you for watching tonight. 3 points for the Maggies. We've done it again. And got the international break. 2 weeks off. I don't mind an international break. Gives us a chance to reset. Get our preparations in order. Ready for the visit of Manua. And yes, the old Manua, because we will be dumping them in the shit. So on that note, it's a goodbye from me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a goodbye from
Pete,
him.
and Pete as well. Away the lads. And 2 comments just before we go. Lewis says, well, I'll be watching some Major League Soccer tonight. Inter Miami against Toronto. Oh, enjoy it, Lewis. And see you later. Yep, see you later, mate. Thank you, and see you later. Bye-bye.